It is the Riot Podcast. Hi.
Hello.
I'm looking at, wow, those really are slimming.
Yeah, the spacesuit things from the...
So, yeah, they ended up not...
doing the shuttle launch?
Yeah, it ended up
it's
not
gonna
happening.
It's going to be Saturday.
Is it? Yeah.
And then I was looking at the report on it. I was like, is that the real, spacesuits? They seem... I only go by what I see in other movies or
right.
history stuff, and they seem so much more round and bulky, and this looks very slim.
I don't know if these are just for promo photos or if they're the actual. Though, remember Elon Musk designed, of course you won't remember, but I do, that he designed a new spacesuit that was supposedly, when you saw it, it was a much smaller,
weird,
kind of thing.
Well, maybe that's it.
Yeah, maybe it is. I don't remember what it looked like. I just remember everybody being like, wow, look at how small those suits are.
Well, at first when I looked, I thought, can you go to space in that? But, things improve over years.
It does kind of look like just a Gore-Tex light weather windbreaker.
Yes, it does.
Or something like that.
And you're just down here like, I thought you had to wear more.
Guys.
Oh, well.
So today in the podcast, we talk about, it all starts with an energy drink.
Energy drink.
Then we get into some new stuff from KFC, a dessert burger, Superman, raspberry pies. What did Nikki think of HBO Max? Eric and Nikki feeling lied to.
It's a tough one to talk about, but I feel like with talking about it comes healing.
You feel better.
Or acceptance.
Yep.
And then healing.
We talk about Hudson's comment and how it haunted me. Oh, I don't like... It's fine. I just thought it was... I still think it's kind of funny how, I'm brushing my teeth and I still hear it. I'm just thinking about it.
Well, you guys listen and tell us what you feel like.
Then we also, at some point, we talk about Space Force.
Yeah.
The Cannonball Run. Did I mention that? What people think of the riot versus how we actually are. Because I'm telling you.
Now, yours is only a small market research group. It's just a couple of people telling you
You're saying
things.
my anecdotal evidence is not admissible in the courtroom of riot opinion?
I don't think you should just go solely based on that, but it is interesting on what people think about us based on what they feel like we talk about.
Well, it seriously leads me to wonder either A, do people just misunderstand me? Because I feel like people get you pretty well.
Pretty much.
I'm probably just crazy. And then the thing people tell me what they think based on what I've said. And I'm like, oh, you guys are really not getting me. But what if I don't get me?
Yeah, that's the question.
What if I think that I'm one way, but in reality, that's not who I am? I've got rose-colored lenses on myself, Nikki.
No, I think you need to be worried because you're very convincing. So if you're talking about something you're passionate about, people are convinced. If you're talking about something you hate and you're not passionate about, but you're being sarcastic about,
it still sounds convincing.
So they have no way to understand what you're actually saying with it. Because I've heard back a lot of times on the show, I'll be like, he's not being serious with that. And then I listen to it, I'm like, it sounds like he's serious.
It sounds legit.
So I don't think everybody maybe catches on to that.
Yeah, it's a problem, but I don't know what to do about
it. It's just your humor, and you're so good at it.
We talk about Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, we do.
And that pretty much wraps up the podcast.
the plane.
Yeah. So, hey, we hope that you guys have a wonderful day. That's not sarcasm. And Nikki and I are going to go whatever we do.
I'm going to go do a meeting. So
I'm going to go edit.
Oh, great. Let's go. Go team. Whee!
You guys have a great day.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Man, it got serious this morning, Nikki. I had to bring in the big guns.
Oh, you brought in a enhancer for the energy this morning?
I did.
You got a rain.
Well, I need total body fuel.
Sure.
And it's weird. I was like, man, my whole body needs it. And
what you've been doing before has not been enough.
And I stopped in at a gas station and I was like, oh my gosh. There is right here. It says total body fuel.
You didn't go for a bang though, or?
Oh, not good enough, huh?
Well, no, I didn't know it. It really is a preference.
It's all.
I thought you were liking bangs, or.
You know what? I just got my hair cut, so my bangs just aren't as long.
It's not the look he's going for.
I don't know. I grabbed this one.
What flavor is it?
It's the cotton candy.
Ah.
I had a friend of mine, Wes. if you're out there, he introduced me to Cotton Candy Rockstar, which is very good.
Well, I didn't know they had a cotton candy flavor.
They do. And it was one I actually, I don't know, whenever he was over and he brought it, which would have been pre-COVID curtain, so a long time ago, I drank it. And after a couple of sips, I was like, this here is a dangerous stuff.
It's not like you like cotton candy in real life,
no,
is it?
Not really.
Why do we love it so much when it's put in energy drink form? It's a very popular flavor.
It's absurdly sweet. Like, it just goes to show you that our society has gone farther and farther down the sweet hole. And as a result, you're just like, I need more. And I'll tell you what, that is about as high to the mountain peak of sweet as I think our bodies could probably handle.
And you know what? You needed it. You just had to have it today.
It was bad.
Yeah.
And
I mean, now it's good.
I overslept, and so I didn't get the coffee made and whatever. And as I was approaching the gas station, I thought, now, what level are we at right now? Like, where are we on the scale?
Are you going to go still make coffee, or what are you going to do?
I am going to make coffee, and I'm stopping halfway through on this can because this has 300 milligrams of caffeine.
In the one can?
That's like a solid 3 to 4 cups of coffee. And so I'm going to take it. I've drank about half of it, and I feel like I'll just tuck
Save
it away in the
for
fridge
later. Yeah,
and then maybe make some coffee. But Nikki, I needed something in me stat. I needed something that was going to fuel
with a sweet cotton candy flavor.
Well, and it was for my whole body.
I see.
And so I'm excited about having my entire body fueled right now.
Then when you go make the coffee, your body's like, that's not enough.
Like, could you pour some cotton candy into this coffee?
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Lately I've been a little anxious about a few things, and they say that one of the things you want to do when you're anxious, you want to attack the source and not just go after like something that makes you feel better short term. And I feel like that is the kind of advice that I would have liked to have given this gentleman right here, because I feel like I don't feel like what we're going to talk about is the problem.
Oh, and it's not fixing things?
I feel like we're going to talk about a symptom
of a bigger problem.
And that's not the word I want. This was his coping mechanism for the problem, and it was a poor choice.
Sure. What did he do?
He broke into the Miramar High School in Florida over the weekend, and he spent the entire day vandalizing the school inside.
Oh, man.
While naked.
Oh, my gosh. He spent $100,000 in damage.
Yeah.
That's not a little. That's a lot.
That's right. So apparently.
He was doing that naked?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like it took it from one level to now the naked level. And that brings a whole other group of people in to see what you're doing.
What's weird is like the article that I posted it to you, like it actually doesn't talk about the nudity, but I got there was a different article that said surveillance footage showed him naked.
Oh, during it?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to identify him.
They haven't found him yet. That's why I don't have his name. But when I look at that again, I don't see. I mean, it's a problem, but it is one of many problems, but I don't see it as the problem. There's a capital T problem out there.
So they're offering up to $3,000 reward, which doesn't, I don't know, seem enough compared to the amount of damage done, but whatever.
Well, that's just $3,000 to get somebody to sell him out.
It's enough to be thankful for, but they said nothing was reported to be stolen. He really just vandalized everything.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that's too bad.
So you know what? He's working some things out. There's a lot going on. And
I wonder what he did then. Do you if you start the sprinklers or something, does that cause that much damage?
I don't know. But I mean, school's not in session, so it's fine.
He also looks older than if he was in school.
Oh, I don't think he's a high school student.
Okay, good, because he doesn't look that age.
Yeah. I think that maybe he was an urban explorer.
Maybe. He's got headphones on, too. Like, I don't know. It doesn't look like music headphones in his little...
Oh, they do look like soundproof.
Yeah, like what if you went to like the shooting range or something like that? It looks like those type of headphones.
It's
He's got this look like me. What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
What am I doing? He's got big eyes.
Yeah. Well, okay. He's out there. But
if whoever wants to sell him out, you get $3,000.
Yeah. How many friends do you have that you would not sell them out?
Well, honestly, if you look and saw what he did, I think he needs some help with something. So it would be better to just sell him out, and then the money would be bonus.
So you're telling me that if you saw my picture vandalizing a local high school, you'd be like, you know what?
Well, maybe. Is it still $3,000 or?
I could really stand to go on vacation.
I think I would only sell you out for $10,000 or above.
Okay.
So that's not enough money.
So what you're saying is you would, but there's a price tag attached.
There is a price, and I don't know if someone's going to match that with a reward.
It's a good call.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on RadioU.
So KFC has had chicken sandwiches in the past, right? But they admitted that they're just not, especially back when the Popeyes Chick-fil-A thing went around.
Yeah.
They said that, their Chick-fil-A or their chicken sandwich for KFC was lacking compared to Chick-fil-A and Popeyes.
That's because at the Colonel's house, they're just like, I don't know, whatever, put a bun on it.
It's fine. That wasn't their focus.
Throw it out the door. We're all the chicken there is.
But do you remember not long ago they had this donut sandwich that had the chicken in it?
Which was delicious.
That chicken part of that sandwich was amazing.
It was.
So
the whole thing was just...
If they used that chicken for this chicken sandwich, then it was shockingly good.
Yeah, that is exactly how I would describe it. Because you sit down to something from the Colonel, your expectations are somewhere below floor level.
Well, this was amazing.
And it was stunningly good.
So they feel like, they needed to do better, and this is what they're going to be offering for testing.
So this is in Orlando, Florida only. So if you had
There's 15 locations.
A big wasted trip to where planned.
To Disney? Well, no, that opens in July. Well, yeah, it's after the window.
So don't feel like your trip to Orlando was a waste.
You could do this.
You can get the KFC Chicken Sandwich, which is its name, by the way. They haven't gone fancy. They're just calling it the KFC Chicken Sandwich. They say that the meat part is 20% larger. The filet.
The filet of chicken.
Mm-hmm. And then you can get it. It's with pickles. And then you can...
thicker pickles.
I'm sorry.
They're actually bigger.
You know what? They are.
And they have a new type of bun that they say, quote, hugs it in the right way.
It's a brioche bun.
Ooh.
I do like a good brioche bun. I like to go to Costco and buy their brioche bun pack. The only thing that's bad about that is that I end up spending like the next 2 days just eating bread.
Well, it's not a bad part.
It's so good.
Disappointing choice part, but it's not bad.
She's not lying.
So that'll be at 15 locations in Orlando through June 21st if you want to try their new chicken sandwich. And if you want to see what it looks like, it's posted at RadioU on Facebook. I think Sydney posted it yesterday.
I haven't had that KFC or Popeyes sandwich in a while.
Yeah.
I'm about due.
It's good.
It was great.
It's super good, too. And so is Chick-fil-A. Chicken sandwich is good.
You know what?
Chicken sandwiches are amazing.
I think what Nikki and I are saying is the chicken's had a real uptick in a good way.
It has. I don't want grilled chicken, though. I don't want that. I want a crispy chicken sandwich.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, good. Doesn't that sound good?
Yes, it does. It would really hit the spot right now.
Yeah, it would.
So if you want to try the new KFC or at least see it, it's called the Crispy Colonel. It's the updated sandwich from their one, which debuted in 2018.
Now, wait a minute. You're calling it the Crispy Colonel, but I thought they said it was just called...
Well, that's the one that debuted in 2018.
That's the old one. Okay.
And this is the updated version of that. It's their new chicken sandwich.
All right. We knew we could do better, and it wasn't good enough for us.
So, Orlando only, 15 locations of KFC through June 21st.
Man, I'm starving.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I get it. I'm not always on top of every single trend, but how can you be? I mean, if you really pay attention to the internet, there's something new every 3 seconds.
And sometimes it's regional, too. Like, it wouldn't hit your area, but it's going somewhere else really big.
So, like, what about the dessert burger?
The dessert burger?
They say that, I mean, according to this article, it's a big Instagram thing. Everybody's making dessert burgers and lock-in. Man, stop telling me what people are doing in lock-in, lock-down, lock-up. So this
is not it.
The trend is that oh my gosh, that looks good. It's a s'mores burger.
It's been around for a very, very long time, but the trend has picked up steam again during people's time at home to realize what to do.
Holy crap. That is a double cheeseburger with bacon on it, but then the bun is cinnamon rolls.
Nice.
What? Doesn't that sound good?
Yes, it does.
Okay, it's not just me.
No,
then.
it actually looks really good too.
Okay, here's a burger, which I mean, it's on a burger bun, but you've got, what is that, like s'mores type ingredients. Then it looks like maybe some caramel, some Oreos, and some strawberries.
Yeah, I guess
and
that would work.
And the bun is grilled, toasted?
It looks good. So it's not all like made from dessert items. Like some have, I mean, are they mock things or do some have chicken or beef still in it?
It depends.
Because the sweet cinnamon roll one is like a brisket sort of sandwich, which looks super good. And then it has cinnamon rolls because that would go well with meat.
Well, you know what? I just want you guys to know. I want to remove the pressure. I haven't made anything special or awesome in lockdown. Nothing. Like, whatever. I mean, I made cheese dip one day.
Well, now this is an option for you.
No. It's way too much work.
No, well, it's not that you have to do it, but what if you ordered from a place that did the dessert burgers?
That's fine. I don't have any problem with that.
Gosh, it looks good.
It really does,
Everything
doesn't
looks
it?
good today.
Well, I just wanted to check in. Like, have you
No,
made
I've not done anything.
No. So you haven't
During lockdown,
crafted a dessert burger?
During lockdown, we were still working at our place of work. So we didn't have all this time to be at home and think of these delicious things.
I have had a couple of encounters with people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm just so glad to be back. And I'm like, yeah, some of us never left.
Well, they're thankful. And that's good.
I'm glad for you, but some of us, we've been here the whole time.
This looks like a lot of work. I would have gone back to at the beginning of the stay-at-home time. Banana bread was still the big thing to make at home, and that looks a lot more manageable.
Now we're getting somewhere. Throw some banana bread at this guy.
That we could do. These look
sounds good.
Decadent, but also very hard to make.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of. I mean, I could develop that skill over time if I was willing to invest in myself and my skill set, and I'm not.
These are hard because you're spending like $45 on the items to make the one food item that you're going to eat, and normally we try to get the costs down for the items, so this would be like a vanity project.
Just get myself a Snickers bar.
That's more affordable and easier. Look, put it all together.
I put this Snickers bar between two donuts.
Look what you did.
Wow.
That counts.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on RadioU.
So, Nikki, word on the street is that, and this came from you. Nikki sent this to me.
Well, I assumed that you would want to let people know about this morning.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Oh, I thought you liked him as Superman.
Oh, no. I do. Mm-hmm. But if you dig into the details, they say that he's in talks to reprise the role of Clark Kent in an upcoming DC Comics movie. Does that mean that, like, he's not... It's going to be another... DC's so good at this. They're like, you like Batman? Here's a Joker movie. You like Batman? Here's a TV show about his butler. Like, what?
So you're saying you like Superman. Here's Superman. Clark Kent storyline.
Here's a look at Clark Kent's domestic duties and chores. Like, here's Clark Kent, mowing the lawn. Just kidding. He has an apartment in the city. But you know what I'm talking about? So that would be my question. So
you're just not sure about the project that he'll go to, but you're excited that he's still in talks to do something.
Hey, I think Henry Cavill is a great Superman. I still do. Like, I think it's a great idea to have him come back, be Superman. I feel like there's more of this openness to the idea of, like, hey, they're going to redo that Zack Snyder Justice League. You'll get the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
And the possibility of seeing him show up in other things, great. Do it. You guys should do it. In fact, if you really, here's what you do. Don't make a movie. Make a miniseries that shows up on HBO Max or whatever your little thing is, and make it like it's a word I want, like a premium series, like really dump some money into it, but give it like 6 episodes or something.
Something short and sweet.
That would be cool.
That would be nice.
I mean, I don't think they will, but that would be cool.
You never know. At least he's back for something. I mean, baby steps. This is a process.
So, and then what is it? This is not him, but they're doing a Lois and Superman show or something like that that's going to be on the CW this year.
Yeah, that's in January, maybe.
Yeah. So next year, technically.
Yeah, most things won't be back till then.
But yeah, dude, I'm up for Henry Cavill as Superman. That sounds good. I'll watch that.
We liked him in Mission Impossible.
He was great.
He's in The Witcher. And
oh, yeah, he was good in that. And then he was in
something
Man
else.
from U.N.C.L.E., which did not, was not received as well.
But people said it was still a good performance, but just, not a good movie.
Yeah. I feel like I like him. Sure. And I mean, let's face it. He looks good. He's ripped. It's fine.
I think he'll work fine. And he already had the role first, so everybody's glad he's back.
Hey, I thought he was a good Superman. Man of Steel, as the years roll on, even though they terribly, shockingly fumbled the Jonathan Kent character and his motivation. It makes the movie almost unwatchable. But if you can let that go, the rest of that movie, I think, is spectacular. I love that movie. It has been something I've watched over and over, which is a little weird, but it's totally true. Yeah.
This is the worst of the riot on RadioU.
You guys know what a Raspberry Pi is? You're like, yeah, I'm hungry.
Not that one.
No. It's just PI. They are these tiny computers that you can buy. Their verbiage for them is deck of cards sized computers. They're tiny, but they keep getting more and more powerful.
And you can set them up to do various little things for you.
You can. We probably should have talked about this at the beginning of quarantine, but it is a ton of fun if you get bored. The stuff that you can make them do.
I don't know if you're going to be that bored, but for some, you really like it.
Well, we were just talking about quarantine baking.
It's the same thing, just, other side.
You're just going to do something else. And so I'll have to say, you know what Eric said to me the other day is like, it just seems like you're really searching for something. And you know what? I really have been.
Yeah.
But just in the way of
a creative outlet or something.
Yeah, like trying to think past my normal things. Like, okay, if you didn't play video games and you didn't have a subscription to 400 streaming services, like what would you spend your downtime doing? And
you've talked for years of trying to find like a hobby.
Right. Like what could you do that would be, I'm trying to get past the idea of, killing time and into recreation, like an activity that relaxes you and you actually feel like you're getting something out of, the time.
You think these might be it?
I don't know, but I do think when I played with one, I have one and I build it out to be a retro gaming thing. I thought it was fun. So this new one, they've announced it has 8 gig of RAM on it, which is probably what's in your laptop right now. It's more than what's in your phone. It's crazy. And this one is $75, I think. But you go down to, like, the whole Raspberry Pi project was about basically how do we get computers in the hands of kids so that we could teach them how to make computers, how to code and all this kind of stuff. So you can get the, like, bottom rung one for like $30.
Pretty cheap.
Wait, it's crazy. And I mean, like, when you get to installing it, you could take one of these things and with minimal effort turn it into something that you could absolutely type a paper on or surf the internet. It's weird. It's weird.
So you want to try another one, or
I don't know.
Your one you have is enough?
Right now, it's pretty good. I loaned it out to a friend of mine. He was just in awe of it. And I was like, here, dude, just take it home and play with it.
Just borrow this guy.
Yeah. So it's another item that's out there if you're like, hey, I live in a state where the governor's never letting me leave. Well, you know what? You can get one of these delivered. That'll give you something to do.
And eventually you'll change your thinking and be like, I never want to leave.
I never want to leave. Why did I ever want to go outside?
In the first place.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
So, Nikki, did you Max yesterday?
Yeah, I'd spent some time with HBO Max.
So?
Again, as someone who used the HBO Go app briefly, you can see the similarities in the style design.
Like, not in a good way.
Well, it's just very, I don't know. It feels not as nicely designed as like Disney Plus or Netflix, but we've also used those for longer, so maybe that's why.
So maybe we're just used to those?
Yeah, maybe you get into it. And then, after you spend a little bit of time with any streaming service, you really then realize there's not a whole lot of stuff. There's just a lot of nothing.
Wow.
So I feel like HBO has a whole lot of nothing that I really want to watch. A few things here or there, but they need to come up with some newer content, I think, to kind of help.
Okay. Like, it is definitely a matter of, like, if you
like to watch movies,
stuff,
then this might be your thing. But I know they have TV shows too, but they're banking on Friends. They're really banking on Friends or Big Bang Theory.
The thing I'll say too for me that was just has been bizarre is like a lot of movies that I never noticed weren't on other services. Like I never noticed that wasn't on Netflix or on whatever. And it was like, oh.
Because it was their property.
There it is. So they've basically been holding this back for this moment. So I actually haven't had much of a chance to look at it, but it launched yesterday. I was looking through. One of the things that they have is they have another stack of animation, like anime and stuff.
Yeah,
and
they have a deal with Crunchyroll.
They do. And so I was looking through somebody's suggestions about what we should watch in the anime space, and it made me think, I wonder if Nikki has found anything that...
No, we got in at like $12-something a month for the year, but normally it's $15 a month. It is pretty pricey, and in the beginning, they're like, well, you get all this stuff, though. You get all these companies working together, and I still don't feel like it's hitting the mark with usually what I like to watch.
Not enough to keep me around, for sure.
Sure.
Like, I mean, there are movies I haven't seen. Like, I still have never seen Dark Phoenix. But like that's on there. So like I'm going to watch that. I haven't done that yet. I haven't seen I can't remember. There was another movie.
See, that's not very good.
One other one I hadn't watched yet.
Netflix has kind of hit their stride with every quarter they'll get one sort of like show, not movie, but show that trends and keeps people happy and kind of like keep going with them. This HBO Max feels like it needs to have some newer content that you're not familiar with.
Well, they got to get started.
Yeah, you got to start with something, but I don't know if I will wait for that.
Give them some time.
I'm not sure, so we'll see. There's a few movies in the queue, but that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, they've put together things that I'm theoretically interested in, but I'll tell you the thing that I have learned is that what looks really good in the morning when I'm sitting in here doesn't look as good to me when I go home and I can do whatever I want. Right? Like that's a real time. But you know what I mean.
Even Disney Plus is similar to that. I don't always go home and then jump towards watching something on that.
There's some truth to that for sure.
There's so much stuff, but it's not anything.
I'm telling you, I keep saying this. We need to quit our jobs and become full-time TV watchers.
There's nothing. I'd get bored of that.
I know, but at least we'd be committed, Like,
we're committed to this.
We could say, I did it. I watched that.
I watched all those shows.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the Riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
I've told you so many times, Nikki and I both, on this show, about how much that you are loved by God. And that when you start a relationship with him, it's like coming alive in a new way, like a new part of yourself, a new life opens up to you. But I will just tell you that it's not, I think maybe we've seen a few too many movies, TV shows, whatever, where we think that it's almost like we expect inviting God into our life turns into a montage. And it takes about 30 seconds. And then when that montage is over, I'm now fully trained, equipped, and ready to be Batman.
You're completely happy. Everything's smooth sailing. Wonderful.
Right. And you know what? There are certainly things that in our lives that can instantaneously change. I'm not discounting that at all. But I will tell you, as somebody that's spent a lot of time in a relationship with Jesus, often it is day to day, over time, like working things out day to day, walking it out day to day. And I want you to know that if you have right here on this show, you've listened to us talk about God's love for you, you started a relationship with God, but you still messed up, or you still, like, at times find yourself wanting to do that thing that you said you weren't going to do anymore, like whatever it is, I want you to know that with you and God, you just keep at it. You just keep at it. Day in and day out, and get up in the morning, invite God into your day, talk to him about what's going on. You know, are you really wanting to do something that you know you shouldn't? Are you really excited about the day that you had yesterday and you're just grateful for it? Whatever it is, day to day, God wants to walk with you through every day, not just the good days, not just the bad days, all the days. And that's the beautiful thing about a relationship with God. If you've never started one, God wants to go on the journey of life with you. And man, there's just so many things that we could talk about, but just know that you're loved. Know that even if you've started this journey, it's a journey. It's a process. You're moving through life with God, and God wants to show you how to live. He wants to show you how to do some things, but he's also going to have to teach you how to undo some things. You've got habits, things you've done for years that he's going to show you a different way to do things. And the two of you are going to work on it together. And that's okay. He never stops loving you, period. So look, know today, look in the mirror, say it out loud if you have to. I am loved. You are. And if you've never started a relationship with God, what a great time to do that. Just say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to have a relationship with you. And you know what? I want things to change. Show me how to live. And he will.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki.
Yeah.
You had the most wonderful thing happen yesterday at your house.
The doorbell rang. And
the doorbell rang. And in came these people.
Two giant boxes.
Eric messaged me yesterday and he's like, they're so much bigger than I thought. For scale, he put his hand in the middle and took a photo of his hand. We're talking about two 18-inch subwoofers that Eric is putting in his basement.
Well, Eric is setting up a theater, and Eric works in video production.
He does.
So, like, this is his
different.
This
it's
is
a little
his
different.
work, and it's his passion, and he likes that sort of stuff. But I told Obi, I feel lied to. I didn't think these things were going to be so big that he's getting for our house.
Dude, my friend Matt in high school built an 18-inch subwoofer.
Yeah.
And just one. And I can remember, like, the whole thing, like, he built the box that it went in. He ordered the sub, like, he put in the amp and all that stuff. And so he gets it done, and he has us over to demo it. And I'm not exaggerating. It physically messed with my heart.
Did it hurt?
And it kind of took my breath away the first time it hit.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it was just this moment of like, what?
And we have two.
What's happening? I don't feel right.
It's bad. It's bad. It's very bad. They're so big.
He's already bought massive amps for these things. So, I mean, in reality,
I don't know what's going to happen. I thought they were going to be more manageable. That's the word I keep using with him, with this theater he's building. It's like, I need to be more manageable. It's still in our house. Like,
you know what? My suggestion is, just based on what he's shown me and what's going on, is just don't go down there.
I don't need to. It'll be loud enough.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
No, he told me, he had the audacity to tell me that he won't need to turn them up as much since he has two now, and then you can turn them down with a fuller sound.
He's actually telling you the truth.
I know, but I didn't think they were this big.
because
They're
what happens
huge.
is Eric and I had a great conversation about subcrawl. And so by putting them and placing them properly, you'll get the full
A more
effect.
balanced sound,
Yes,
blah,
absolutely.
blah, blah,
and
yes.
then otherwise, a lot of people overcompensate, which is why you get things that are too bassy.
Well, I'm telling you this. I know movie theaters are still closed, but coming soon will be a chance to go to the movie theater in my basement, and I'll charge. So
Do it.
everybody can come over for theater time.
It's
They're so
great.
big, and he hasn't
It's
even
so
built the
great.
stuff around them.
No, he said the boxes he think will be like 2x2 cubes.
Yeah, because he likes to be more creative with this, so he's buying all of his speaker stuff to where it's the components, and then you build the casing around it yourself.
I love it.
More of a project with it, but oh my gosh.
I think it's great. I mean, this is kind of what I like to do with my computers, except Eric is showing a lot more craftsmanship.
He likes to do woodwork stuff, too, so it's the best of both, isn't it?
It's awesome.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, it's not for me, but it's awesome for him.
Yeah.
Though you know what? I can already tell, like 10 years from now, I'll be like, hey, Eric. So I'm thinking, maybe I'll build some speakers.
Maybe he'll be there. He's as happy as can be, though. The second they came in, he was so happy. That's why we're a supportive person, but they're big.
The sentence that is my favorite in all of this that has emerged is, and I quote, I feel lied to.
Yeah, I didn't think they were this big. I absolutely feel lied to. And the rest of the speakers he wants, I don't even want to know. Will they fit through the door?
Don't ask.
What are we doing?
Don't ask. Just have him deliver it down to the basement door.
Don't even look.
And let him get that see-through, or what is it, the sound transparent covering.
Oh, put it around.
Let him get him behind that, and then don't worry about it.
Oh, it's fine. We have to have projects, don't we? That's good.
When you see your first movie down there, you'll be like, this was worth,
Now,
our retirement fund or whatever the heck you got in the bank.
This is a bold statement, but you ready?
Yeah.
I don't even like to watch movies that much.
Not you do. It's just that you have to be laying down watching them on your phone.
Yes, that's what I like.
And it's really the laying down part that you like the most.
Yes, it is.
You're listening to the worst of the riot. Radio U.
Yesterday I was in this room and Hudson was here and, we were talking about the Some Good News Network and whatever. And,
oh, yeah. What's his thoughts on it?
Well, we didn't completely get it. He thought it was a little saccharine, he said.
Yeah.
Which I thought was actually a fair description. I said that I had a friend of mine who loved The Office, and I wasn't really that guy, and I felt like it was tailor-made for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hudson told me that, he liked The Office, but he didn't really like the Some Good News Network. He did say, though, and this is the part that at the time I didn't think about, but I feel like has echoed like in my mind for the last 24 hours. He said, yeah, I did like it because I'm trying to do more than just make fun of Taco Bell for laughs.
During the time.
And I was just like, I feel like he said
Was that as big as you?
It was like, just make fun of Taco Bell. Just make fun of Taco Bell. Just make fun of Taco Bell.
That's what you do.
Just make fun of Taco Bell. And I'm staring in the mirror, like just looking in my eyes. Just make fun of Taco Bell.
So did he elaborate? Like, is that a dig at you or?
Well, I told him, I take, of course, in the moment, like, I take that personally. It's good to make fun of Taco Bell. Somebody has to, blah, 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 whatever. But then I walked out of the studio. We all laughed. And then I was like, just make fun of Taco Bell. I don't want to just make fun of Taco Bell.
You need to do more.
And man, if something got tattooed on my heart, it was that. And that's, you know what? That's the power of Hudson, is that he just said that in the moment. But look at how, it has affected me long
He doesn't speak as much and as loud as us, but when he does, they're powerful.
You're just like, ooh. I mean, it got all the way inside.
It was deep.
I'm in the shower shampooing my hair. I don't want to just make fun of Taco Bell.
Now you have to feel like you have to do more.
I'm like, well, what? And then I start asking myself, is that what we do? Do we just make fun of Taco Bell?
No, we have other stuff.
We make fun of KFC and streaming services and stuff like that. And
we're so much more than that.
Just make fun of streaming services. Just make fun of. Just make fun of. But it's fine. All
right, don't go next time and go talk to him.
Yeah, I have to stop talking to Hudson. I hadn't talked to him in a long time.
It's hurtful.
That's what I'm not sure is, was he trying to be hurtful?
No, probably not.
I'll bet he was.
No, he's not like that.
He'd been waiting.
He's been waiting to see you
He
to do
hasn't
that.
seen me in a long time, and he was just like, you know what?
He's held on to that one for years.
I'm like, well, I don't want to just make fun of Taco Bell.
That's what you do.
It got me so much later.
Aww.
So it's fine. I didn't lose sleep over it last night.
Not at all.
I didn't roll over at 2 a.m. and hear Taco Bell.
That's all you do.
Just Taco Bell.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported RadioU.
So, Nikki, would you be interested in, I don't know, a service that would bring food to your home?
Yes. I've been known to DoorDash.
Would you be interested in...
Hey, I've not done it in like 2.5, 3 weeks.
Days?
I cut off when I had a real bad experience at a lunchtime thing.
Okay.
And then I was like, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I haven't done it since.
I have...
It's like an addict. Basically having to just come down from it.
I am in a similar boat, like in that during the first couple of weeks of all of this, I definitely gained some weight, but I don't think I've lost any weight, but I've stopped the flow.
Yes.
Like,
we
all of a
cut
sudden
that
I was
off.
like, okay, guy, hold the phone there, buddy. You can't keep living like this.
We noticed a problem, and now we're just working on correcting that in the right way.
Sure.
But yeah, especially in the beginning of the COVID stuff, man, I was door dashing every day or every other day.
I had an insane amount of Cane's chicken fingers, not delivered, but picked them up.
Drive-through?
Oh, picked them up. Picked them up.
So this list, though, is saying what was the most popular delivery orders that were unique to each state during COVID-19.
And so you're saying this came from Yelp?
Yeah, based on Yelp.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and hit some RadioU states. I'll start in California.
Bubble tea.
Really?
Yeah, it became a trend on TikTok to make your own bubble tea while you're quarantined.
Sure.
But not,
getting it delivered?
Yeah, absolutely. You just don't shake it up. And then when you get it, you just shake it up and you're all good.
All right. Oregon, loaded burgers.
Mm-hmm.
I did some loaded burgers. And then Washington, pad thai. All right. I don't like pad thai. I've tried to like it.
But you're not into it?
I just can't get into it.
Florida had garlic rolls.
Oh, come on.
Georgia had wings.
I love garlic. Oh, Texas, you had crawfish delivered?
Oh, well, each state is different. It's fine.
Oh, man. All right, Obadiah's home state, Ohio, deep dish pizza. Come on.
Pizza for sure, even though not necessarily deep dish.
Okay, now this doesn't make sense. In Ohio, it's deep dish pizza, but you go over to Chicago, supposedly the home of deep dish pizza, the state of Illinois, thin crust pizza was the number one delivery item.
Maybe they don't want to follow their own rules during the time. They were mad.
Maybe they were.
And they just wanted to go with thin crust.
So, okay, now these are people after my own heart. Missouri, donuts. They had donuts delivered. All right, New York State, the cheese pizza.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oklahoma had croissants. That's an interesting one.
Some of these things I've never even thought of getting delivered. But again, delivery has changed.
And there's so many different places in your area, so they can all deliver that way. Rhode Island had General Tso's. South Carolina, sushi.
I went to Cheap Chinese yesterday.
Did you? You had a good time with it?
I did. I ate on their patio all alone, but it was delicious. Oklahoma, did you already say them? Croissants?
Yeah, croissants.
And then, again, if there is one state in the union, aside from Missouri, where I feel like I would probably be right at home, that's in the great state of Tennessee, because their number one item, home delivered during quarantine, chicken tenders. Come on.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
hallelujah.
It. Now that feels right, doesn't it?
I love a chicken tender.
So that's the data from Yelp as the most uniquely popular delivery order in every state. So it's not necessarily was that the most popular, but the most uniquely popular item.
Okay, so you're saying these were... Okay, I didn't understand that. And yet, I still want those chicken tenders. I do love them.
Well, chicken tenders seem fine, but it's the other ones that seem more of a unique item.
Yeah, you know what? They say that the state of Tennessee is essentially completely and totally open for business. Live how you want, do what you want. And I have heard from people that a lot of them are vacationing there this summer because they're like, yeah, at least I can go there and do what I want.
Well, that's why the chicken tender, everybody else has these unique items. Tennessee's like, no, we're normal.
Whatever.
Chicken tenders it is.
Come on down.
That is the perfect place for you to go. You need to go vacation there if you have to.
I should. I'll see you later, Nikki.
Well, not when you set up your vacation.
I'm going to Nash, Tucky.
Not not just leaving right now.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So it would be a lie for Nikki and I to say that we have not been incredibly excited about joining Space Force, something that she and I have been, I'm honestly just passionate about, and we're trying to get in on the ground level. But we actually have stepped back and decided to let them kind of work out some of their internal struggles.
Oh, and then jump in.
And then we'll jump in when they're ready for a leader.
So is that so is Space Force the show out yet, or when does that come out? Is it today, tomorrow?
Actually, it comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Reviews are not good.
Of course it's not. Why would you think it would be?
Well, were you kind of hoping it would be good?
No, it never is. And you can get
That's not true. Sometimes things are good.
You can get the most hilarious people back involved. It doesn't mean it works out again.
Hey, I'll tell you what is one of the, this is just, I guess, a side note, but I think one of the biggest struggles in comedy, first off, comedy is very hard.
Yeah.
It looks easy, but the easier it looks, the better someone is at something.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy is not easy at all. And sometimes I feel like when you bring together a lot of funny people, they have a lot of fun in the room, but it doesn't translate to the camera very well. If you go back, especially I feel like Sony as a studio does this a lot. If you watch movies, you'll see them just improvising on the set. And I feel like on the set, it's very funny.
Yeah.
But then when they get it in the camera, it's like,
it doesn't translate to
not very funny.
And it can be too many comedians in the kitchen.
Can be.
And then it just doesn't work out. So, yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yeah. So you think you'll watch it?
No, not at all.
No? Like not even an episode.
Not even a tiny bit of it.
Not even an episode.
I like Steve Carell, but I like him in the roles I've already seen him in. So
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need anything else.
I don't dislike Steve Carell.
Sure, he can be funny.
I've certainly seen him in things and thought he was very funny and liked him. But the thing that to me was the most interesting was the fact that they got John Malkovich. I think John Malkovich, when he's playing comedy, he always plays it very seriously, and I think he's really funny.
Yeah.
So that was literally the casting point where I was like, okay, I might be interested.
We'll try it tomorrow and see.
Hey, so what do you think of Obadiah?
The truth is, he's not a very nice person.
Okay, well, what about Nikki?
The very best there is.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
It's called the Cannonball Run. It is how fast can you drive the 2,800-mile journey from New York City to Los Angeles.
So it's a well-known route. They usually start and stop at the same place.
Uh-huh. And so it's illegal, but people still do it.
Well, it's illegal because you'd have to go some speeds, to be able to make it in time.
You're way, way, way over the speed limit.
Shockingly, dangerously fast speeds to do the cannonball.
So we actually talked about it a few months ago, about some people that have broken the record during the quarantine because the streets are way more empty, so they could go a lot faster. Well, according to the article we're looking at now, the record has been broken 7 times in 5 weeks.
Because things are still empty for a good portion of the country, though I feel like the cannonball time is up since everything's been opening up.
Oh, yeah, no, I completely agree.
The heyday of that is probably gone to where they can get as fast as they've been going.
Yeah.
Without getting pulled over.
So I don't have maybe I do have the exact time. I'll dig a little bit. But the current record as it stands now, the final breaking of the record, 2 guys, names not mentioned because...
You know.
They completed it in less than 26 hours.
Can you imagine going from one side of the country to the other in 26 hours?
26 hours.
Now, some people film it and put it on YouTube. So, you can see cannonball runs. And I think they have, a crew of people along the way to help them out to spot and stuff. So, it's not just, a 2-person actual effort. They have a lot of help along the way to make it happen.
They said in some states they were averaging 110 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. In other states, they were averaging 120.
And so they don't stop for food, right? What do they do for gas? You have to just stop and fill up quick. At some point,
they probably have to stop and get gas, I guess. They said they had 30 spotters, a well-prepared car, and everything went as well as they could have hoped.
Man, I'd be like, are we stopping for snacks again?
What are those spotters for?
Well, for,
Popo.
the police.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So they took off from Red Bull Garage, which is the traditional start point in New York City, and then arrived at the Portofino Hotel and Marina, Redondo Beach, California, which is where they
You think if you get pulled over for going that fast, I mean, do you lose your license for a bit, or what do you think happens?
You're in substantial trouble.
I used to watch some car vlogs where they would travel around a lot, and they would always get pulled over. I mean, a lot. And they would get tickets all the time. So I'm assuming your insurance would be almost impossible to keep, but they still had it. So it's like, how much are you paying for this stuff?
I have
or
absolutely...
how do you still have your driver's license?
No idea. Seriously, I have no idea how that works, because I'm like you. I'm thinking you're dead now.
Yeah, how are you even driving?
As far as driving is concerned, you're dead to the world.
Where
this
I
is
feel
not
like a normal person in a normal car, you get pulled over for 5 over and that's it. You can't keep your insurance.
Yeah. Well, the other thing you have to wonder, and I'm probably not supposed to ask this question, but as a police officer, you're sitting there. You get your radar gun out. Somebody passes you going 120. Mm-hmm. You're not going to catch them.
Yeah, but they try to pull them over. If you're in those cars, they try to pull you over for something else. A lot of times they'll try to get you for what your car has on it.
No. What I mean is on the actual Cannonball Run, if an officer is sitting still doing a speed trap, he's going to have to radio to someone else to get that car.
Yeah, ahead
because
of you.
Passing you sitting still at 120, you're not going to catch that car.
That's true.
So I don't know. Let me put it to you this way. I'm way too scaredy fraidy cat
to do that,
to participate in something this cool.
And I like on a road trip to stop and eat at new places, try new snacks. We take forever.
Nikki and I end up setting the record for the longest
trip.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
What I don't know what I want to talk about right now.
Well, let's choose. What do you got?
Well, I've got this thing we can talk about Disney. But you know what it concerns me is we had a text earlier today in which someone said in that text, they were like, well, you guys like Disney so much.
Do we? Why would you say that?
Well, okay.
What made you think that?
All right. This is a whole thing for me. I've been thinking, over the last 3 or 4 days, I've been having conversations with people who either listen to the show or follow me on Facebook, or in some cases, both. Mm-hmm. And they have been like, their perception of me versus who I am is so skewed.
Uh-oh.
It's so skewed. And so it gives me a moment's pause because I'm like, okay, obviously people half listen to the show. They have to, it's not like people are paying close attention, but the impression that you and I are giving people, Nikki, is that we really like Disney.
Well, now,
and I don't.
We're members of Disney Plus. And I went to Disney at Christmas, but outside of that, Disney's always bigger.
We sound like Disney superfans. We send them money every month, and we went to their theme park.
But
what else is there? A Disney tattoo?
Disney was big news during the quarantine stuff because it is such a massive operation.
Right.
And, for it closing down, it's not like, this is just this small thing is closing down. It was just this huge thing where so many people would travel to. And now it's been in such the news that how can you open it up and what would it look like to open up all the Disney stuff?
Okay.
Or Universal or all the theme parks, amusement parks. What would it look to open that up in the current world? And they're looking at Disney first to see what they do.
Well, that's how you and I see it.
Yeah.
But to people on the other side of the radio, we're
fans.
huge Disney fans.
I don't think so. We're just curious.
Okay? Take that to the fact that yesterday Hudson's like, I don't want to just make fun of Taco Bell. So, Hudson's perception of the riot is they just make fun of Taco Bell.
We're going to have to work on that.
We're huge Disney fans. We just make fun of Taco Bell. And yesterday, do you remember at the end of the show, I was talking about how oh my gosh, I'm angsty and I need something to do and I need to get out? You wouldn't believe how many people reached out to me yesterday are you all right? Is everything okay? And on the one hand, great.
Sure.
You know what? It's wonderful that people loved me enough to do that. How kind of them to do that. But I'm fine. It's not so what I communicated was way past what's actually going on. So you and I are big Disney fans. I'm super angsty and we make fun of Taco Bell a lot. So I'm in an existential creative crisis over here.
I'm worried too, but maybe we'll just say this. Disney's supposed to open up in 6 weeks.
That's the whole thing.
So that's it. Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom will open July 11th.
Animal Kingdom. Nobody wants to go there.
Well, yeah, sometimes that's fun.
It's the worst.
Whatever.
It's the worst. It's a crappy zoo.
It's a Disney zoo.
It's an absurdly overpriced zoo.
So you have to wear masks. You have to have your temperature taken when you get there. Social distancing, hand washing. SeaWorld has plans to reopen on June 11th. So that will be something in Orlando as well.
SeaWorld, you go there, you're just a monster.
I know.
That's what. Did you see Blackfish? You're
I
a
used
monster.
to love going to SeaWorld when I was a kid. Like, I wanted to be a marine biologist.
So they love Disney, but they hate
And
SeaWorld.
I loved SeaWorld all the time. Grew up all the time going there. Just super enjoyed it. And now every time someone's like, hey, you want to go? It's like, I don't think I can go to SeaWorld anymore.
Not anymore.
At least you can't tell people if you do. You just have to be quiet
I'm
about
just
it.
excited that we can wear masks again because I can sneak into SeaWorld.
You can sneak in there because, you liked the other stuff.
So
Fine.
good. So good.
The Riot. Not everyone's a fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
Big report yesterday in the Wall Street Journal. And I have no doubt that I just lost you. But
Well, hang on, guys.
no, I'm telling you what, this is important. Do you get the feeling that the country is more divided than ever, or than you've ever seen? That people are, it's not just divided, people are angry.
And if you go back even a few years and you thought back then it was divided, you thought it couldn't get any worse. And you're like, no, it's now even worse.
It is worse.
It's a whole different level.
And it's not your imagination. Things are more intensely divided now than they have been in recent history.
Sure.
Over, say, the last 20, 30, 40 years, which is not to say that people have not been divided before, that there haven't been divisive issues. There have. But in general, you end up with little bits of people that are just flaming mad angry, but then a lot of people that are willing to maybe be more likely to discuss it, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, if you go back, I'm sure people were, just as mad, but you didn't have social media to amplify it. And so nowadays, everything's amplified.
It's not our imagination. It really is being amplified by social media. So a guy by the name of Chris Cox, he was the CPO, the chief, I don't know, something officer. I can't remember what, but basically he followed up and led a team at Facebook in which they wanted to take a look and see hey, are we really causing things to get hotter? Are we really causing things to be more divisive? And the answer was yes.
By we, did he mean Facebook?
Yes.
Oh.
He said, are we responsible for it? And so he basically said that the algorithms that they had in place actually intentionally stoked the fires of dissent and divisiveness. And he presented his report. His report was kept internal. It was shelved.
Ooh.
And they were like, no,
they didn't care.
We're not going to do anything about it.
Well,
and that's why it's such a big deal that the Wall Street Journal is now reporting on it.
It makes sense if you were social media, if you were a company, and that's the stuff that gets responses and gets people talking on there and gets people mad. Getting people mad, you're still using the platform. They would want that.
Yes.
They wouldn't want that to stop.
I mean, don't forget that basically all social media really exists for one reason: to serve you ads. And you're like, that's not true. No, it is true. Everything that happens on social media is designed, and they'll, you can hear them talking it's about communication and community and all this kind of stuff. And those are the hooks, or actually, let me rephrase that. That's the bait on the hook that keeps you coming back. But what they really exist for is to sell you ads. It's all the money they make comes from if either A, they serve you something that you pay for, and that's rare, but it's mostly the ads that you see popping up because they get money for everything you look, and the longer you look at it, the more money they get.
And if you
because
get mad
the more
at
ads
things,
they serve you.
You're looking longer.
That's exactly right.
And you're talking about it more, and you're a part of it more. So, wow, and they shelved that. That sounds about right.
It does. So that report showed up in the Wall Street Journal yesterday, and I'll just be honest, I've taken a cursory glance at it. I haven't looked any deeper into it. I actually made a little note to read up on it more today because It sounds fascinating, and it's not surprising to me because I have actually thought, like, man, not like there are important things to get upset about, but man, I see people getting like massively upset about things. And I have noticed that even as I glance past the headlines, I'm like, I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read that. Even that starts to seep in where I start on some level subconsciously or maybe at a very low level consciously begin to believe some of the headlines that are probably not even remotely true or, you know, are intentionally inflammatory. It's insane.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
So if, you know, movie theaters open the way they're supposed to, sometime in July, we should be seeing a new movie from Christopher Nolan, which I said a couple of days ago, that's what it'll take.
Is that the plane one?
Yes.
Did you see the reports on the plane thing?
That's what I want to talk about.
I wondered if it was true.
This is insane. At the end of the trailer, you see a 747 crashing into a building.
Yeah.
And they did that. That's real.
It's a real
747.
It's a real plane.
And a real building.
Yeah.
He said they originally planned to do it with a miniature and some CGI, and they sat down and did the math, and it was cheaper to get an old 747 and crash it into a building
than it
was to do a model with CGI.
I was blown away by that. Like, well, how much does the other stuff cost? But I guess the 747 would be such a particular thing. Like, who's buying them? If it's old enough, it's not like it really has to work.
Yeah, I don't have all the exact details, but yes, it is not, to be clear, when we say crashing, my first thought was like, wait, you mean like flying in the air and crash? No, it was on the ground, and it's basically taxiing into a building.
So you could totally find an old one and make it work for probably, cheaper.
Because it doesn't have to be able to fly. It just has to be able to roll forward, kind of a thing. So, dude.
That made me more interested in the movie. Like, that's a real plane.
There aren't a whole lot of people whose name alone is enough to get me interested, but all you need to do is tell me that Christopher Nolan made it, and I'll watch it.
So that's supposed to be, supposedly, in July later, when they said that movie will not be going to on demand or anything else along the at-home lines. That one is supposed to be in theaters. They're serious about it.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't interested in any other way. They kind of seemed strong on that. They weren't going to change it or make it move to a later date. They wanted it then.
Yeah, dude, I want to see it. Like, that is, again, the question of like, hey, what would you be willing to do? Like, what would get you back to the movie theater? If there was anything.
So there's
that's the one.
There's a couple hundred movie theaters open in the United States, but like AMC's not open.
No, they're not.
And so I haven't heard much from the bigger ones. So AMC, Regal, Cinemark and stuff, like those are still closed, right?
I know that AMC is. I don't know about the others. It hasn't even occurred to me to look.
Well, I wasn't sure. They've been quiet. Like, I've heard more from, like, gym companies than I have from movie theaters.
Right.
But they've been quiet, and I thought they would be opening up, at least in some states.
Well, it'll be, again, it depends on the state. Some states are still under that, like, hey, gatherings of 10 or less. But I saw that Nevada is moving into what they're calling phase 2 this weekend. And I believe that will open up in Nevada, like theaters can open and things like that.
They still have to do the proper things. But
right. So I don't know where that's all headed. I know this, though, that I'm headed to the movies if they open it back up.
If they could please start talking about opening that back up.
I mean, it won't be until July, like 2 months from now. But
if not in our state, but you'll have to go to another one.
I could use a trip anyway. I'll just drive out.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.